Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news. This is the business of sports.
The business of sports can be intimidating or hard for a startup to break into.
We really appreciate when our owners are actually there, with us through the journey.
Teams, ours especially, have been very intentional to diversify at all levels of the company.
I think we're in the golden years for the NFL and college football.
Our demographic reach has continued to expand.
This is going to be really unlocking the streaming platform for sports fans.
Sports valuations are rising. We'll see when they peak.
You don't have to be the best in your sport to make a whole ton of money.
Bloomberg Business of Sports from Bloomberg Radio.
Welcome to the Bloomberg Business of Sports, where we explore the big money issues in the world of sports. I'm Vanessa Perdomo. Joining me this week is our usual friend of the show, U.S. sports business reporter Randall Williams.
We're on the ground in Radio Row here in San Francisco during the lead up to Super Bowl 60. In this special edition of the podcast, we are speaking to current and former NFL players about the big game, plus their ventures on and off the field.
First up, I speak with former NFL quarterback and Amazon Prime analyst Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he gives us his insight on how the game will shake out on Super Bowl Sunday. So, Ryan, thanks so much for joining the Bloomberg Business of Sports. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we're here, Super Bowl week, so I got to get a couple of, picks from you. Right now, today is NFL honors. Tell me who you think is going to win MVP.
Matthew Stafford's going to win the MVP. He was incredible all year long. I think the problem that we have when we start talking about these guys, just because I love what Matthew Stafford did this year, doesn't diminish anything that Drake May did. And the guys that want Drake May to win, it doesn't diminish anything that Matthew Stafford did. They both had amazing seasons, but Matthew Stafford, I think his performance against Seattle and what he did, even though it was in a losing effort, games that he's put together, he's had an incredible year.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the quarterback market right now. You obviously mentioned Matthew Stafford and Drake May there. Obviously, Sam Darnold has an amazing story. Similar, isn't to yourself, that he played for so many different teams, and now he's found this, amazing place right now with the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's such a difficult position to get right, and there's so many different shapes and sizes that people come in. I think the things that you realize and what make these great quarterbacks, a lot of it is the intangibles. A lot of them have the physical skills to do it, but how they interact with their teammates, their work ethic, how they perform in high-pressure situations, those are things that are hard to measure until you actually get your hands on them and get to see them in those situations. But a guy like Sam Darnold, I'm so happy for and so proud of because of the ups and downs that he's been through. And there's a lot more downs than ups earlier in his career. His time with the Jets, you would say, was a failure, but he didn't look at it like that. He looked at it as a learning experience to keep going, to pick himself up off the mat and continue to get better. And so it's great to see a guy like that, who even last year in Minnesota was doubted, didn't get re-signed there, to be in Seattle, to be in this game, and to come out the other side. It's been very fun to watch.
Yeah. So are there either one of them that you are rooting for more for the big game?
So this is a hard one for me because I love Sam, and I would love to see Sam win. I also love Mike Vrabel and would love to see Mike win as a coach. I love Matt Collins. So you get tied to so many of these guys with the relationships that you have that it becomes difficult. But in the end, I have to put my analyst cap on, and I have to break it down. And for me, Seattle is the better football team, but will they be the better football team on Sunday? That's the big question. I think New England sneaks away with a win in this game.
From what you've seen, is it you think that Drake May is going to be able to come up bigger in these moments, or why do you think that Patriots are going to pull it out?
I think there's a lot of pressure on both teams, obviously, but the narrative all week has been almost that New England doesn't belong in this game. This is Seattle's game to lose. And so as the game goes on, if it stays close, the pressure is going to be on Seattle. They're going to be more tense and tight in those moments. And I think Josh McDaniels will be the big X factor, offensive coordinator for the Patriots, who's been in a ton of these Super Bowls. I think he's going to be able to manage it the right way. And New England, all year long, people have just been waiting for them to lose and to fall down, and they find a way to win these big games. I think that's a great quality that they have, and a great quality that Mike Vrabel has brought to the Patriots.
Yeah. So you said just before that you had to put your analyst hat on, and I want to talk a little bit about that, about your career as an analyst and how you've kind of taken it to another level. Now you have a podcast that you host. Tell me why you've really decided to dive in on it.
I think I got really lucky because the year that I retired just so happened to be the year that Amazon was looking for 4 analysts to come and join their team. And for me to transition from 17 years in the NFL and being on 9 different teams into this new team with Amazon, and I just am so lucky, from the people behind the scenes and the producers and everybody that it takes to put on a production, to the on-air talent, to be able to do it with Tony Gonzalez, Richard Sherman, and Andrew Whitworth. It's been fun to be part of that team, but it doesn't work without Carissa Thompson. Right. Carissa has been amazing. 3 of us were brand new to TV, had no idea what we were doing, and she did such an amazing job and continues to do such an amazing job of keeping us, herded and wrangled and letting our personalities show, but also making sure that we're putting together a show. I don't think people appreciate Carissa Thompson as much as they should for what she has to do and go through to get a successful show. She's certainly the leader of our show.
Yeah. For you, what was it like trying to bring your own personality to yourself as a media personality, but at the same time, like, trying to make sure that you still have that media hat on?
I always try to remind myself that I'm in this position because of my personality and who I am. Yeah. And there's an authenticity that you have to show, because the great thing about TV, and it's the same thing in a locker room, is if you're not authentic, people see through it right away. Yeah. And so I just want to be myself, and hopefully people enjoy that. But I also got to the point where I have 17 years of knowledge in the NFL and being through a bunch of different systems and a very unique experience that not many people have had. So how do I share that with the viewer, and how do I allow them to have fun on a broadcast, but also to learn a little bit about some of the experiences and perspectives that we've been through.
Right. Is that why you started the podcast? Because you felt like there was just so much more you had to say?
The podcast thing, I'd been asked a couple different times, and it just really wasn't a great fit for me. And then when Andrew Whitworth and I started talking about it, it's a guy that I really enjoy having conversations with. So it's very cool just to be able to sit down with him for an hour. We've had a ton of awesome guests, whether it's GMs or coaches or players. Even CEO of Amazon, Andy Jassy, came on, Roger Goodell, to be able to sit down and have some of these interesting conversations and get some personality out of these guys that maybe some other people haven't seen before. That part of it's been really enjoyable for me.
Yeah. So, we're at the Super Bowl. It's the last game of the year. After the last game of the year, before, the joke's always, looks like they're headed to vacation.
Yeah.
You have on this tropical shirt. Tell me about where you go on vacation.
So my wife and I never really get to go away by ourselves. We have 7 kids. It's just been busy. We've been married for almost 20 years, and we had the opportunity to go to Aruba, somewhere we had never been before. And we had such a great time. It had a great blend for us of like the white sandy beaches and the beautiful hotels, but then it was the adventure, being able to get away, being able to go on hikes, being able to go into this natural swimming pool, snorkeling, all the things that you would love to do on a vacation like that. But it also, they call it one happy island for a reason. You go, you just feel refreshed and rejuvenated. Even after returning home, there's just a lightness to us from being able to go and have that time together in a special place. So it was very fun for us, and would certainly recommend it to anybody that wants to get away and just refresh for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, with Aruba, they talk about being a responsible tourist. Can you tell me a little bit about that and making sure?
No, there's a lot of stuff they do. They're very proud of their island. Mm-hmm. And so that was, walking away from it, that was something that really touched us, was how kind all the locals were and how proud they were to share their island with everybody else. Tourism is a big part of what they do, and so they certainly appreciate people being there. And when you go to places you haven't been before, concerns for me, one of them is just safety. And we felt right at home and safe the whole time and had a lot of fun with the locals.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we're talking about travel, I want to get your perspective on what the NFL has done to have football go to a global audience. And done such a great job going to a bunch of different places. Yeah. Just announced Paris. When you're thinking about that, tell me more about how they've been able to grow the game and how you've seen it change as almost a global sport to this point.
Yeah, I think so one thing Roger Goodell has done is he wanted to make it international. He wanted to increase the fan base. He wanted to share our great game with everybody. And I think initially players were a little bit hesitant. They didn't really look forward to the games and having to go overseas and the travel and taking you out of your routine. But as time has gone on, players have really embraced it. I think players enjoy it. You can use it as a time for your team to get closer together, have 3 or 4 days together in a foreign place without the familiar around you. So that makes your bond a little bit tighter. And then it's just been a great response globally as well. My favorite last year was the game being played in Dublin, Ireland. That was really special. I had been over there that summer to meet some of the people of that great island, and it was wonderful. But growing the game, continuing to expand, I think players have really embraced it, and hopefully people enjoy the game of American football around the world.
Yeah. So one of the things that they've talked about is potentially putting a team somewhere else, expanding in that way. Do you think that would be a feasible thing?
I think that is very far away. The logistics, I think they've thought about it. They've tried to work through it. One of the things I heard a few years ago was, what if you have a team home base in Florida, say you spend a month in Florida, then you do a month in London and back and forth. But I think the logistics are very difficult on that, and so we're still a very long way away from that being a possibility.
Yeah. If you had to pick a place to put a team, where would you put it?
If I had to pick a place to put a team, Dublin, Ireland, baby, only because I would love to go and visit. Maybe I would try to be part of the management of that team so I could live in Dublin.
All right, we're going to see you in investment, I think, maybe, potentially.
I love it.
That was former NFL quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. Don't go away. More Bloomberg Business of Sports from Super Bowl 60 when we come back.
This is Bloomberg Business of Sports from Bloomberg Radio.
Welcome to the Bloomberg Business of Sports. I'm Vanessa Perdomo with Randall Williams live from Radio Row in San Francisco for Super Bowl 60. Now we will speak with New Orleans Saints defensive captain Demario Davis about being nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year again and the Saints' upcoming game in Paris. Demario, welcome to the Bloomberg Business of Sports. It is so great to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this.
So it's Super Bowl week. We're here. There's some big things coming up. Big night for you tonight. NFL honors nationwide. Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Tell me what it means, to be nominated for this, and not the first time, right?
Yeah, to be nominated again is a tremendous honor. This award isn't just about me. It's an award for New Orleans, representing a city that has really poured into my family, and we've been able to just pour into it back. It's just been incredible. When you think about this award and what it means for the NFL is, one of, if not the biggest platform in our country and one of the biggest in the world. And for it to be the greatest award or the highest honor inside of our game, it just talks about a great game, not just what we do on the field, but off the field. That's what the NFL really represents and how we show up in community and show up for people. I got to give a shout out to the NFL. I got to give a shout out to the Payton family, a shout out to Nationwide for really having elevated this award to the level that it is, that it really elevates the work that these guys are doing in the community. So many guys are doing great work, but to be one of 32 community champions, what Nationwide has really been able to do in partnership, pouring $4 million into player organizations, it just helps scale the work. And so you can work at a local level, but to really take it nationwide, you have to have resources.
Take it nationwide,
you have to have connections. You have to have resources. You have to have networks, and elevating it to this level allows that. And so it's a tremendous honor. I don't take it lightly. Grateful to be one of the 32 guys. And even the guys, we're working here in San Francisco, coming together and collaborating on ways that we can take it even further, our work.
Together.
Yeah, together. Yeah. So collaboration is everything, and we really want to set that precedence that it takes everybody, and we get a chance to do that. So even when all 32 of us are being on this stage together is one thing, but we're also going to Old School Cafe, which is a restaurant here, kind of bought out the entire venue. It's a restaurant here in San Francisco that does mentorship, and workforce development for at-risk youth. And so being able to support them and all of us just being in a gathering place to just being able to break bread together and talk just in a private, intimate way about work that each guy's doing, but how can we collaborate and support each other? How can we partner with the NFL and continue to take it forward? So the NFL has created space for us to be able to do that. And those things are happening, and it wouldn't be able to happen without the platform that we have today.
How deep do those conversations get? I mean, that's pretty amazing that you get to have that time with other players and really get to see why they care about a certain topic. And I'm assuming you don't get to have those conversations all the time, or do you?
Yeah, you don't get a chance to have them all the time, especially not at that level with guys who are having scalable impact in their communities and with a heart to really reach the country. And when you think, when 10 guys come together, 15 guys come together, 20 guys come together with the level of influence and the level of credibility that we have, that's a tremendous signal that we can send into the community. Like, that cuts through a lot of noise. It's like, man, people are going to galvanize around that, and so we're able to move in a way, and so it's a tremendous responsibility. So getting a chance to talk through like different things that guys care about and find, 2 or 3 central ideas to really kind of get behind. If you look at the partnerships that we have with the NFL, with My Cause, My Cleats, if you look at the social justice initiatives that are happening, all those are player-led things. Those are things that have come from player conversations and then having gone to the league. And so it's like, okay, so what's our next thing? How do we do this at an even greater capacity? How do we do this at an international level? Those are the things that we're talking about, is how do we use our platform for good, and how do we do it in a way that the end goal is the amazing fan base are watching what we do, and it ignites them to go and have causes of their own and pour out and say, you know what, these guys are doing this, I can do something. That's what that's stewarding the platform.
Right. And talk a little bit more about that, the platform that you guys have and the influence that you guys have, and why it was important for you to use your voice in that way. And when did you decide to do that in your career?
Yeah, to whom much is given, much is required. I've always been a person that was going to give back. I mean, that was instilled in me when I was very young. My grandmother used to be making plates, and we would take them around the neighborhood to people who couldn't get around. And I saw that, as early as first and second grade. But when I got to college, I noticed the gap in the education system, because many of my peers who I grew up with, they had struggles in the classroom, and I didn't know why, but I realized it was things like reading comprehension and math literacy skills and things like that. And so a one-size-fits-all model doesn't work. And so we started to work around education and mentorship. But as I started to get later in my career, I realized other guys had initiatives that they cared about and wanted to pour into, and it was like, okay, well, that's a common ground between athletes. How do we collaborate and come together? But we have so many millions of people who are watching our game, and the thing that we have is we have influence, but we also have their trust, we have their credibility. That's why they look at us and they feel like they can relate to us. That's why they wear our jerseys. That's why they want to know our backstory. They feel like they can connect with it. It's like, okay, well, we have their attention. What can we do with that? Well, we can inspire them not to just want to mimic us or wear our jersey, but mimic what we're doing in the community. Mimic, look at us as like we're using our resources and what we have to go and give back. And it's like, no matter what scale it is, everybody can play a part. Everybody can do something. It's like, man, just look at somebody around you and try to figure out a way to put a smile on their face, figure out a way to lift them up, figure out a problem that's going on and somebody that's kind of struggling, and what can you do to help them? It may be a one-day thing, it may be once a week thing, it may be once a year thing, but everybody can do something.
You talked about how, just the fact that the Walter Payton Man of the Year award is so highly sought after and, highly sought of, thinking of in the NFL, what it says about the league. But what do you think it says about the players? I mean, like, was it a thing that when you come into the league, everyone knows, hey, this is what we care about, making a difference? Or was it something you learned over time?
Yeah, I think this award has really been elevated by the NFL, by Nationwide and the Walter Payton family it has really grown exponentially. I mean, Nationwide is pouring over $4 million into players' causes. So, like, that attention of all those partners kind of coming together and saying, hey, we really want to elevate this award, has really just moved into a space of, like, most players are going to resonate with that. Like, it's about being more than a player. Like, okay, if this is the highest honor in the league, if I'm coming in and I want to be the best I can be, I want to strive towards being that. And so it's like, okay, what do I got to do? Okay, well, I got to do more in the community. I need to figure out what are the things that I care about. And that ignites and elevates the locker room to, we want you to be the best players you can be, but we also want you to figure out how you can use this to pour into the community. Like, this is what the model looks like. And when you do that, that's also being modeled in society. NFL has tremendous influence. It's an entertainment business, and so many millions are watching what's happening. Well, it's also elevating society. Society is looking at that and saying, okay, well, I can have my career, I can have the thing that I'm focused on, but how am I helping people? Yeah. How am I using what I'm experiencing, I'm getting fulfillment in to bring fulfillment to somebody else? That's what is being modeled in society, and that's what we want. We want that ripple effect, because for our country to move forward, it takes everybody, and it's really about raising this belief that when we live on these principles, when we all kind of come together, there's no problem that we can't solve. And it's like we look around and it's like, yeah, it feels like it's problems all around us. But we can be the answer to those problems. We don't need government to kind of come in and take care of everything. It's like we as people can come together and help the people who are beside us, and it's just everybody having that belief. And it's really just, if you really believe that, you'll move like that, and that's what we want to ignite, is that belief in people.
Right. I mean, I feel ignited right now. If you don't, then you're not listening, right, for real. So the last thing I want to talk to you about was, the New Orleans Saints. I know you're, trying to figure out your contract, but the New Orleans Saints was just announced as a game in Paris. Tell me, how exciting would it be to play in Paris for you?
Man, that is unreal. New Orleans has really just changed the game. Shout out to the NFL with its international expansion, and I feel like Roger Goodell has been instrumental in that and really taking and elevating this game to a place that it's never been. And New Orleans just positioned itself at the forefront of that. Paris is the most toured city in the world, and shout out to Ms. Benson for her forward thinking, getting in front of that, locking in exclusive marketing rights. Yeah. And so it's an extension of Saints Nation that's going into Paris. That game is going to be like no other game that has happened internationally. It's on the Olympic stage. It's on the World Cup stage at Stade de France. That stadium is going to be played at. So you think about just the excitement level. I was over there this past summer, and man, those people love football over there. It's such a rich hunger, and I know who that nation is going to travel. It's going to be unreal, and the New Orleans Saints, a relatively smaller market in the NFL, really just positioned itself as number one in the international market, and just excited for that.
That was New Orleans Saints linebacker Demario Davis. Don't go away. More Bloomberg Business of Sports from Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco when we come back.
This is Bloomberg Business of Sports from Bloomberg Radio.
Welcome to the Bloomberg Business of Sports. I'm Vanessa Perdomo with Randall Williams live from Radio Row in San Francisco for Super Bowl 60. Next is a legend of the game, arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers, Jerry Rice. He joined us alongside the NetApp Chief Marketing Officer, Gaby Boko.
We are here with Jerry Rice and Gaby. How are you all today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Very good.
Okay, Jerry. This is like your 100th Super Bowl week at this point, right? How are you feeling?
No, man. Every Super Bowl is special. Super Bowl 60. You got to think about that. And I would have loved for my San Francisco 49ers to be participating right now. But you got two great teams with the Patriots and also the Seahawks.
Gaby, you're here with NetApp, of course. I want you to tell me what you're doing that's special with Jerry, with the NFL. What makes you and your company brilliant?
Oh, I love that. NetApp is a data company. We believe that data it powers everything, and especially when you think about what it does for the NFL and what it does for the 49ers, and especially as it comes to life for Super Bowl 60, data is behind everything, right? This is the most intensive data sports moment for data in sporting. And what NetApp does is it basically creates this layer of we call an intelligent data infrastructure. It's basically what moves that data and allows the players and the coach and fans ultimately to experience the game at a high magnitude. I think what's really important, though, when we partner with Jerry is it's when you think about players like Jerry on the field at like a Levi's Stadium, you're taking a stellar. I'm gonna love on you a little bit.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay. There's a lot of people that do, so get in line.
I'm gonna love on you a little bit. This is a guy who has so many stats that have broken records. That kind of data combined with a field like Levi's Stadium, you've got kinds of data that really tells our story really well. So that's why we partner with Jerry. That's what we're excited about with Super Bowl, and that's why we're here.
Well, listen, I think you're going to be partnering with Jerry forever because some of his records are just not going to be touched.
I agree with you. We agree.
You have 22,000 receiving yards. It's just not going to be touched. No one's going to play as long as you did, at the level you did, as long as you did.
I played for such a long time because I actually love playing football.
Sure.
I didn't play for the money. I didn't, I didn't play for the stats and all of that. But I felt like I owed the fans something that was unique. Anytime you paid your hard-earned money to come to a football game, I wanted you to witness something that was going to be real special. I wanted you to leave that stadium and say, oh, my God, did you see him make that catch or score that touchdown or whatever?
Now, for you, Jerry, with NetApp, a lot of data. If you had
if I had NetApp back in the day, and to have all that information right in front of me and be able to get that information so quickly and stuff like that, maybe I would have been able to double all my stats.
You think you would have had 40,000 receiving yards?
From the 22,895 yards, the 1,549 receptions, the 208 touchdowns, the 37 records or more. I would have doubled that.
So now tell me the ways that NetApp and data are impacting athletes in ways that they don't know, because we see a lot of teams hire data officers and bring in people from analytics. How is that impacting athletes from behind the scenes?
I think it's really how the coach takes what their strategy is and is using what the sensors are that are on players now, what's happening inside the stadium, and pulling all that together. And I would say the big driver for how to use data is AI right now.
Wow.
So when you think about how to bring AI into a let's say the Super Bowl Levi Stadium data center, you're looking at it in not just 3K, 4K, you're looking at it in 4D. And that's going to help players change how they throw, how they run, how they catch, how they partner with their teammates on the field. And that's going to help coaches define the plays even better. We like to say that's the invisible layer, and that's truly the case. It allows players like Jerry to shine.
All right. Yeah. So why are you partnered with the NFL? Let's ask. I want to ask that because of the
hard
fact
question.
That
it's the NFL experience.
Amen.
That's it. It's the NFL experience.
You can speak to this.
Yeah. Because you're taking football global.
Yeah, you're taking it global. I don't care. It could be Silicon Valley. It could be any continents. It's just making it so accessible, for the fans.
Sure.
And which I feel like it plays a very important role.
That is absolutely the truth, right? When we look at how we tell our story, we want to make it approachable for everybody. And there's no greater base of customers/fans than the NFL.
Jerry, you talked about globally. We're seeing more games played internationally than ever before. Talk to me a little bit about where would you like to see an NFL game, or where would you have liked to play?
To be honest with you, I was talking this over with my manager this morning. I want to go to Australia.
You want to go to Australia?
And I think they just announced something about the San Francisco 49ers that they're going to be playing there. And I heard the fan base.
Did they announce that?
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did. I think they announced that. I'm not sure. You might want to check that, but I'm thinking that Australia, and we have a fan base over there like crazy with the 49ers. Just like in London, it's the same way. So I would love to go there.
Roger Goodell's mentioned 16 international games. Is that good for players? Do you think players actually want to travel? And not every single week, but to be going to Spain and to Paris and potentially Italy and Australia and so many other places. Do you think that's good for players?
I can't really speak on that for everyone, but if I was playing, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
You wouldn't have a problem with it?
No, because I love playing football. I was one of those guys that actually went to training camp with the rookies, and I was a veteran. So I was always ready to go. But, that's going to have to be decided, but if it was me, I would do it.
And Gaby, tell me a little bit about what NetApp is doing in terms of the international growth and the presence that you all have, not just domestically, but overseas.
Well, we definitely partner with the NFL as the presenting sponsor and partner of most of their, if not all, their international games, including their expansion games, which are being announced. Against his wish list. But we do it because we thought it was an important move because the NFL is spreading this fandom globally. And there are, as Jerry said, fans in countries that, at the U.S. sometimes we kind of think of ourselves, we do one thing. The NFL has fans everywhere, and we want to be part of a team and a company that takes that and expands it, because data has no boundaries, right? Yeah. And nothing says that better than a sport that has fans around the world. So I think it's a great opportunity for the NFL. It's a great opportunity for the players. And who doesn't want more fans?
I can't find anybody that doesn't want more fans.
And I think it's so cool, too, man, because when you go to, different countries and stuff like that, to actually see someone wearing your jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, the connection there, and I'm like, oh my God, is this for real now? Are you serious? It could be London, it could be any other country and stuff like that. You have really loyal fans, and they love American football. All
right, let's do some fun ones before we get out of here. Okay. Last year, the Super Bowl was watched by 127 million people, driven by the storylines of Jalen Hurts, Chiefs three-peat. How many people do you all think are going to tune in this year?
I think much more because of Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold, he was with us, then he went to the Vikings, then he went to the Panthers, then he went back to Seattle. So he's been, sort of like
a journeyman.
Yeah, a little bit. So I think a lot of people are going to be pulling for the Seattle Seahawks.
Davey?
I don't know. I think we're going to be a little up. I think all the Patriots will want to come back and say, I haven't been here in a while. I got to watch. I got to pull.
It's only been 10 years or so. There's some franchises that have never been there.
And then the Seahawks, right? Exactly. Definitely. They've got to be there. They've got to rep. So I think people are going to tune in masse.
All right. Pick your winner.
Seattle.
Play for the Seahawks. We ain't forget. we haven't forgot. There's some people who don't know that. But
yeah, Seattle.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to pick the Pats.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Drake May.
Yeah.
Rookie, this is his opportunity. One thing about the Super Bowl, you get one shot.
Yep.
That's it. The best team is going to win on that given day. And I just feel like with Seattle, the offense and the defense, and you win championship with defense, we'll see what happens.
That was Super Bowl champion and NFL Hall of Famer Jerry Rice alongside NetApp CMO Gaby Boko.
Sticking with the 49ers, fresh off his incredible season, MVP candidate running back Christian McCaffery.
So welcome to the Bloomberg Business of Sports. Christian, it's so nice to have you here. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me.
So you came by with something right there, some big hardware. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I got the FedEx 2025 Air and Ground Player of the Year. It's an unbelievable honor. It's an award that's been around for 23 years, so it's one of the longest standing NFL awards, and it's really cool because it's voted on by fans, and so anytime you get recognition like that, it means a lot. And then also FedEx is donating $15,000 to a Feeding America food bank right here in San Francisco, so anytime you're getting an award, being able to give back a little bit means a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. So tell us more about that fan connection and fans, like you said, being able to vote on this award. And does it mean a little bit more that way, do you feel like?
Well, it means a lot. I feel like we have the best fans here in San Francisco in the world. Anytime we travel and go to away games, they always show out. They're really loud. Sometimes we'll go to games and it feels like there's more of our fans than other teams' fans. And so anytime you kind of get that recognition from them and fans that I respect and have so much love for, means a lot.
So NFL Honors is tonight. Tell us about, the other people you're going to see, the other people are going to be honored with this award that FedEx is honoring with you as well.
Yeah, I think anytime you're in rooms around just greatness, it's really cool. You have guys from the past that I used to look up to and had posters of on my wall. You have current players that are, playing at elite levels. It's always really cool to be around great players.
So we're here in San Francisco. It is a home Super Bowl. You said you didn't have to go too far away. How is it to be here for you in this market in San Francisco?
It's great, man. San Francisco is a city that has so much character. And so when it's always cool when as popular of a city as it is and as great of a city as it is, I feel like people still don't understand it. So seeing other people come from across the country here has been so cool to just hear how much people love it. It feels like a second home to me. Obviously, I'm here all the time, and I went to Stanford here, and I have so many Bay Area connections. It is home. And, so for people to see what we love so much about it is really cool.
What if they don't understand, do you think? Like what do you think that people see when they come here that maybe is different for them, more unique?
Yeah, well, I think when you think of West Coast cities, they're very new. A lot of times it's people from all over the place that live there. But San Francisco's not that way. You have so many locals. There's so much history and character to San Francisco that's very specific and unique to the city itself. And so I think that's the energy that people feel. Obviously, you have the iconic hills, the iconic houses, the Golden Gate Bridge. The food is unbelievable. Alcatraz, the beaches, everything that has to do with the setting of it. But I think the people is what make it really cool.
So one of the other things you're doing here this week is a partnership at Sport Beach with Athletic Brewing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we'll be at Sport Beach with While on Earth, which I'm a co-founder of the company. It's a brand started by a guy named Todd Mulaney, who's an unbelievable person, let alone businessman. And so partnering with him was super easy for me. I fell in love with the brand. I fell in love with the team. And, it was really cool for me to step outside of football, to step outside of any kind of alternative investment areas and venture areas and go into the startup world a little bit and try to grow a business and see what that's all about. And it's been really fun, man. I've just had such a blast learning more than anything. And, hopefully we can take this to where we think we can.
What have you learned in this seat that you have that's new for you in business, being in the startup?
Yeah, well, I've learned a lot. I've learned patience is key. I've learned to have big goals, but don't put timelines on things. In the athleisure space and footwear apparel space, it's an unbelievably competitive area. And so you really need to have good quality. The shoes are fantastic. We're coming out with so many really, really cool projects that I can't wait for people to see. But overall, the company itself has just been really fun to work with in that sense.
And what made you decide to become a partner in it, not just, be an ambassador or just kind of have that sort of partnership?
Yeah, I think I wanted something that transcended football. And I think when athletes put, myself, when I put my name on something, I want it to be something that I align with from a business standpoint, from an ethics standpoint. And While on Earth was the perfect fit, and I was really blessed. It kind of just fell into my lap. Todd came over to my house and presented me this opportunity to be a co-founder. We talked for longer and longer, and the more I thought about it, I was like, this is exactly what I need right now. And God kind of has a funny way of putting things in your lap when at the right times. And so, you do a deal with a brand while you're playing. Those end. They'll give you some money. That's how the partnership works, and they wear their clothes. But that ends. And life after football is still life, and you still have to, and I wanted to put my name on something and be a part of a team, be a part of something that's bigger than myself, which is what football is. And I felt like this was the perfect opportunity, and I couldn't be happier to represent this brand.
Are you thinking more about that? Obviously, you're still well into your prime and your playing career, but are you thinking more about things like that outside of football, about what life is going to look like after, what businesses you want to get involved in?
My first few years in the league, you're so wrapped up in football. You're kind of getting the feel of the routine of the offseason, and it's all ball all the time. But now that I kind of have that down, and you get older and wiser and more experience, you do have to start thinking about those things. And so that's why this was such a cool opportunity for me, because I love being a part of teams. I love being a part of something bigger than myself. And football ends one day, and a lot of guys struggle with that. And so this was an avenue that I was like, you know what? I know sportwear. I know apparel. I know how shoes are supposed to fit and feel. I feel like I can add value to this company. I work out for a living.
Right.
And, man, I think what a great opportunity where I can give my 2 cents on everything from design to feel to fit, and let the guys who are much smarter than me handle a lot of the business stuff. So it's been really cool.
I was going to ask about how much you are taking part of in design, and how much are you really interested in that part of it? Tell us more about what your vision is for what it was and how you're making While on Earth different and unique.
Yeah, I'm in every meeting. Meeting. Yeah, that's been really cool too, hearing from people who have been there and done that. Todd was the CMO at Noble and helped grow that brand to where it is now, and came off and now is doing his own thing. So he has experience growing businesses and understanding how to do it in the correct way. He also has experience with how not to do it, how to do it, and there's so much value in that. Me personally, I love sitting in the meetings and listening, but yeah, like I said, I work out for a living. I wear athletic clothes for a living, and I feel like I can provide a lot of value. So not only am I helping with design, but I'm testing the shoes myself, walking around in different products that haven't come out yet, wearing different products that haven't come out yet, constantly taking notes, examining. I think when you're in this world now, you have a different eye for what
different way to
people
work
are
out.
wearing.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. And so, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Christian, thanks so much for joining Bloomberg Business and Sports. We super appreciate the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffery. And that does it for this special edition of the Bloomberg Business of Sports. Stay tuned for more Super Bowl related content on our podcast feed.